You know, as the name on our program suggests, Farm Bureau is the voice of agriculture all across the country. And we take you back to this year's annual Farm Bureau convention in Texas to hear more voices from Farm Bureau.
Farm Bureau speaks for everything that I have to do on the farm, all my everything that revolves around regulations, farm bill and those kinds of things. They've always been an advocate for me. I've been involved for probably 40 years with Farm Bureau. I've served on the state board for going on 9 years now on the Oklahoma State Board.
You know, we've been involved in Farm Bureau for about 10 years, and we started out as in the Young Farmer and Rancher program, and we were district chairmans with Young Farmers and Ranchers, and then we were the state chairmans. And currently I sit on the state board of directors for the Idaho Farm Bureau. So we do feel that the Idaho Farm Bureau is very important, or the Farm Bureau in general is very important, because all this stuff that we're doing now is very important, but the most important part of the Farm Bureau starts tomorrow when we start developing policy. And when we can start policy from any state at a county level and bring it up to the American Farm Bureau, that shows the importance that the American Farm Bureau puts on little ranchers like my wife and I, that we really have a say, and they feel like that what our voice is important because they want to hear what we have to say.
The wife got active, and then of course the wife getting active gets me active. So it's good for the kids, it's good for our community. They do a lot for our community. Our local Farm Bureau, our Cherokee County chapter, does a lot for our community and everything. And we get to go to Jackal, so we get to go on trips, and we put in a lot of man hours at our school. We are, if I can say this right, partners in education at our local school, our county is. And I walk in the school and they say, "There's Farmer Tim," or Farmer, Miss Michelle or whatever. So that's kind of how we're noted around the community and everything. And the community has been real good to us. It's good for both. They can buy local, plus we can support them and they support us. So it's just kind of a big family thing, really,
Well, some of my earliest memories was going with Mom and Dad to the high school gymnasium for the Farm Bureau dinners. So I can't remember a time when we weren't doing Farm Bureau stuff, and then kind of got involved in the county, and went through some offices in there, ended up being county president for a while, and got voted onto the state board, and did some things with the commodity committees, and working with different aspects of it, and got to be elected eventually state vice president. That's where I am now and stuff. I'm happy to do it. I so strongly believe in Farm Bureau and what Farm Bureau does. Our lobbyists keep track of legislation and stuff. I have no time to do that. When I'm out busy farming and keeping track of the farm and the business and all that other stuff, it's invaluable to me to be able to look at Farm Bureau's recommendations on a bill that's coming up, saying this agrees with our policy. Well, I think it's probably a pretty good bill then. They say we disagree with this, then I think it's probably not a very good idea. I so appreciate that, along with the other member benefits and the opportunities to get insurance through Farm Bureau. It's just something I really, really support and really believe in.
In fact, I was a county president in Edgecombe County for probably about 8 years. Really enjoyed it. I've seen what Farm Bureau does for us firsthand. If it weren't for Farm Bureau, I don't know what kind of voice us farmers would have. They've stood out for us, gone to bat for us on all kinds of issues, political issues, that we couldn't have done it. There's getting less and less farmers in my area and all across the country, really. So we've got to have somebody like Farm Bureau that's working for us while we're out farming. We don't have the time as individuals, I feel like, to do as much as we need to do to look after what our politics needs to be done to protect our farming livelihood.
We're growing more than just cattle. We're growing a family, and we're teaching a family, and hopefully through all this too, we're teaching our neighbors and our friends that are around us the importance of agriculture and the importance of where their food comes from and how important a farmer and rancher really is to the entire world.
Farm Bureau members all across the country sharing the important story of agriculture.